Defamation lawsuit on Facebook. Facebook, new name Meta, is one of the most successful and popular social networks in the world today. Despite the many benefits it offers to surfers, social media and Facebook in particular can easily become a convenient and fertile ground for spreading slander and libel against individuals, companies, businesses, and organizations. This phenomenon has earned the nickname defamation. Spreading slander in the digital space in general, and within Facebook, tends to spread quickly like wildfire, and thus lead to serious and irreversible damage to the person or business future. Therefore, the law in the State of Israel allows the filing of a defamation lawsuit on Facebook that is intended to demand and receive adequate and appropriate compensation for the damages caused to the person about whom the defamation was said. The prosecution procedure is recommended to be performed with the guidance and assistance of an experienced lawyer and an expert in the field of defamation lawsuits and libel. Receiving compensation without proof of damage in the defamation lawsuit on Facebook. The defamation law in the State of Israel stipulates that the court that hears libel and defamation lawsuits on Facebook has the authority to award monetary compensation in favor of the plaintiff, even without necessarily proving damages, up to a maximum amount of NIS 70,000. The question that is asked is, why does the legislature allow for compensation without the need to prove damages? Well, the answer to this question is that there is great difficulty in proving and quantifying damage that has been created as a result of defamation cases, shaming that occurs in digital media and cyberspace. This is all despite the fact that these damages are accepted as legitimate and real. Accordingly, when a defamation lawsuit is filed on Facebook, the plaintiff can show and prove in court that the publisher of the defamation on social media had a malicious intent and will suffice for the court to decide and rule in favor of the plaintiff. In the case where the claim was accepted, the court can award compensation in significant amounts of over 100,000 shekels. The discretion and considerations of the court when making a decision in a defamation lawsuit on Facebook. The defamation law gives Israeli judges in court broad jurisdiction to decide whether there is justification for awarding damages to a plaintiff without the need to prove damages, meaning that the court has no obligation to rule that monetary damages must be paid to the plaintiff without proving actual harm. The defamation lawsuit on Facebook that is submitted to the court raises an important issue that the court is required to give its opinion on, and that is, are the things and events that the lawsuit deals with and discussed are an examination of defamation as defined by law. If the court recognizes that the publication, the act committed on Facebook, constitutes an expression of the publication of defamation against the plaintiff, the defense will be given an opportunity to present its claims against the plaintiff's recognition and possibility of enjoying the right to financial compensation. The courts in the State of Israel refer to the social network Facebook for all its variety of unique and unusual characteristics, specifically when it comes to defamation lawsuits. Advertising truth protection. The truth of the publication is a defense claim relied on by defendants against whom a defamation lawsuit was filed on Facebook. This is a line of defense that revolves around the claim that the claims of the prosecution that were presented as defamation on Facebook are in fact true, and there was a point in posting things in this forum for reasons of public interest. In any case, any libel or defamation case on Facebook that comes up for court consideration will be examined on its own merits, meaning there is no Facebook defamation lawsuit similar to its predecessor. How to properly prepare for the filing of a defamation lawsuit on Facebook. If you have been harmed by the slander, scheming, or libel on Facebook, it is advisable to act quickly. But at the same time, it is important to act correctly and not recklessly, and be careful to take extra care. In order to prepare properly for filing a defamation lawsuit on Facebook, it is recommended and important to seek professional legal assistance and assistance from an expert lawyer in the field who can guide you on how to proceed. Here are the steps and actions you should take before filing a defamation lawsuit or libel on Facebook. It is important to document all publications that, in your opinion, contain aspects of the use of defamation, slander, or libel through screenshots. Collect evidence and data regarding the distribution of the publication and its degree of impact, such as the number of followers in the group on Facebook on the date the problematic post was uploaded, the number of responses to the publication of the post, the number of shares, the type, quality, and nature of the responses to the publication of the post, etc. Collecting data and evidence that indicates the damage caused to you due to the distribution of offensive, degrading, or false advertising is important and essential to prove the existence of defamation characteristics that have great significance in the defamation lawsuit process on Facebook. These characteristics include, among others, virality. the extent of exposure, the degree of involvement on the part of surfers and Facebook users regarding posts, etc. In addition, as part of filing defamation lawsuits and libel on Facebook, we will discuss how things were interpreted by the public, and therefore documenting the responses to posting things on Facebook may well be helpful and validate the prosecution's claims regarding the plaintiff's reputation and reputation. Removal of the publication. A request for the removal of the offensive post addressed to the manager of the Facebook group, in which the things were published, and documentation and screenshots of the correspondence with him. This action is important, but does not precede the documentation of the defamation or libel distributed on Facebook through screenshots that should be kept as evidence in the evidence file that will be conducted and heard in court in your lawsuit. Procedure and manner of filing a defamation lawsuit on Facebook. Filing a defamation lawsuit on Facebook is a complex procedure that requires advanced planning and preparation on the part of the plaintiff. If you want to deal well and effectively with the situation you are in, it is recommended and important to seek legal advice and guidance as soon as possible from an expert and experienced defamation lawyer who deals with and is proficient in the process of filing defamation lawsuits on social media. The lawyer who deals with such lawsuits examines with a professional eye the circumstances of the case and assesses the degree of feasibility of filing a defamation lawsuit on Facebook. A defamation attorney will know how to guide you what steps should be taken that can help in proper and successful management of the crisis, and will also perform immediate damage control. On social media. Accompaniment and legal advice from an expert lawyer in the field of defamation. If a defamation lawsuit has been filed against you on Facebook, seeking professional services from an online defamation lawyer is an important and vital step to substantiate your claim and claims, and because you may be liable to pay high damages if proven guilty. Lawyer and notary Shimon Hahn has extensive experience in representing victims and defendants in libel and defamation lawsuits on social media. Our experienced and skilled team of lawyers will provide you with a complete answer and personal guidance throughout the process of filing a lawsuit. Legal aid is important and helpful in gathering evidence and building a strategy in line that will help you prove or refute the claims. Defamation or defamation lawsuits are complex lawsuits, and therefore this is even more true when it comes to defamation lawsuits on social media channels. Therefore, in Israel, if you have been harmed by abusive advertising against you, scheming on Facebook, or you are suspected of spreading slander, it is important to contact a lawyer. An expert in the field of defamation on the internet with experience and reputation in representing plaintiffs and defendants in defamation lawsuits on Facebook and in general. With every question, request, and inquiry, our law firm in Israel is at your service, and we will be happy to provide you with a full professional answer and legal assistance throughout all stages of the process until the best result is achieved for you. The above should not be considered as legal advice or a substitute for it. It is recommended to consult with a lawyer and notary Shimon Hahn before any action. All rights in this video are reserved to Shimon Hahn Law Firm and Notary. To contact lawyer Shimon Hahn, call 25 25544.